Barakata Yahweh, Barakata Yahushai, Barakata Yahweh, Barakata Yahushai, Barakata Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem HaKadash, double honors and salutations to the elders and apostles, bishops, Icon Akbat, Great Stone, listening across the four corners of the earth, in sincerity and in truth, and holding on to the testament of the Lord Mashiach Yahushai in these days and times. This Brahmana Shadisi camp, short lesson for the hopeful elect. Yeah, and some stuff just been brewing in my mind for quite some time, and it's just about what Yahushai mentioned, to his apostles, including his followers, right? About what it takes to be a part of this ministry, all right? What it takes to receive salvation, all right? And here he explains it in a parable, all right? So this is Luke chapter 9. It's from verse 57 all the way to 62. That's the end of the chapter. And so Yahushua, had to expound on. It says, "And it came to pass that as they went in the way, a certain man said unto him, Lord, I will follow thee whithersoever thou goest. And Yahushua said unto him, Foxes have holes, and birds of the air have nests, but the Son of Man have nowhere to lay his head." In other words, Yahushua is letting him know that he has to prepare himself for the uncomfortable journey about his ministry, since the man told the Lord that he will follow him wherever he goes, meaning what? He wouldn't be looking forward to the luxuries. You know what? As per life in general, full share of clothing, that become less of a priority. When you come to serve the Lord, it's a necessity, but no longer becomes a priority because the gospel is now your first choice. All right, and Yahushua always knew of a place he could stay. He had family members. He had a place for his parents. But what he meant was that if you want to come serve him, it's going to cost you. You're not going to be comfortable, where you are, trying to live a life of comfort. Yeah, that does not sit well in this ministry, because this ministry wouldn't allow you to just chill in the house and enjoy, the little trinkets of this society. Even when you're having a good time with brothers, this truth will always put you in that straight gate. All right, that's why the Lord Mashiach Yahushua talk about entering through the straight gate. All right, because hey, wide is the way that lead to destruction. The comforts of this world, will make you weak. It would not prepare you for the adversity ahead. But when you learn to trim your lamps, you learn to trim the fat, you understand exactly what you signed up for, all right? And then it says, and he said unto another, Follow me. But he said, Lord, suffer me first to go bury my father. Yahushua said unto him, Let the dead bury their dead, but go thou and preach the kingdom of Yahweh, Bashim Yahshua, Bashim Kakadash. So that's exactly what the point about this parable is, this real event, okay, incident. And then it says, another also said, Lord, I will follow thee, but let me first go bid them farewell, which are at home at my house. All right. And Yahushua said unto him, No man having put his hand to the plow and looking back is fit for the kingdom of Yahweh, Bashim Yahushai, Bashim Kakadash. That's the whole issue, with this ministry. It comes a point when you have to detach yourself. It's painful, but you have to move forward. That's for the reason. That's the reason why the Lord Yahushua had to say that the foxes have holes and the birds of the air have nests, but the Son of Man had not where to lay his head. All right, because the ministry became a priority. The comforts of trying to maintain the status quo doesn't really sit well with this ministry because you already know what the prophets were all about. They're all prophesying about the salvation of our people and the narrow passage they'll have to go through to receive salvation. So it's just something to think about, all right? Because when you come to serve the Lord, you're going to have temptation. Just like the book of Sirach chapter 2 tells you that. And, it's not a secret. The Lord already knew that Jake's always about taking care of family, trying to have some prestige in society, in the so-called community that they live in. But after a while, you, you know, once you wake up to this truth, it becomes, irrelevant. It no longer becomes a priority that you have to chase after and maintain all the time and be totally concerned about. This ministry becomes, your topmost profession, okay? Not saying that you should neglect, you know, things that can help you in this society, but it's just that it has its place, okay? So when you also look at Luke chapter 14, you start from 16. It says, Then said he unto him, A certain man made a great supper, and bade many, and sent his servants at supper time to say to them that you are bidden, Come, for all things are now ready. And they all, with one consent, began to make excuse. The first said unto him, I have bought a piece of ground, and I must needs go and see it. I pray thee, have me excused. And another said, I have bought 5 yoke of oxen, and I go to prove them. I pray thee, have me excused. And another said, I have married a wife, and therefore I cannot come. All right, so excuse after excuse, excuse after excuse. All right, and another said, so the servants came and shewed the Lord these things. Then the master of the house, being angry, said to his servant, Go out quickly into the streets and lanes of the city, and bring in hither the poor, the maimed, and the halt, and the blind. And the servant said, Lord, it is done as thou hast commanded, and yet there is room. Okay, so you know what that parable goes into, right? And then verse 23 says, And the Lord said unto the servant, Go out into the highways and hedges, and compel them to come in, that my house may be filled. For I say unto you, that none of those men which you are bidding shall taste of my supper. All right? And that's the reason why you have to examine these sayings of the Lord Yahushua. All right? So by him saying the great supper, meaning that we have a ministry to attend to. We have the feeding of the flock to attend to. So you already know that that basically boils down to preparing the bride, for the Lord Yahushua, the great wedding, the great union. Okay, so you can imagine the disappointment on the face of the rich man, not being able to have those invited guests to his his wedding. All right. So just imagine, man. A great supper, and bade many, so he can afford it. Yeah. So just imagine that, man. Opportunity to attend. You know, how you say it, man? Give me one second. Let me look at it properly. All right, a great supper. That's right. Yeah. So it's a union. You know, a union, a great event for them to be part of. What did the folks do? They chose to go do other things. So it just shows you that they weren't on the same page. So other things like that cannot really become a priority. Especially when you have somebody that's of great importance. Sometimes you just have to put things on hold. Yeah, because the brotherhood is very important. Because men are basically the foundation of society. The men of the Lord are the foundation of our kingdom, man, of our nation. All right, and that's why Yahushua is also called the cornerstone. All right, so you have to accept that reality, and when you read the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 20, from verse 1 to verse 9, it tells you if you want to get the victory over the enemies, if you want to conquer, if you want to have the results that you desire, you have to go according to a certain plan. All right. So here it's talking about getting the results, getting the land that the Lord promised unto us. I'm just going to read a few key verses. So it says in verse 1, Deuteronomy chapter 20, verse 1, when thou goest out to battle against thine enemies and seest horses and chariots, all right, and people more than you, be not afraid of them, for the Lord thy power is with thee, which brought thee up out of the land of Egypt. Okay. And it shall be when ye are come nigh unto the battle, that the priest shall approach and speak unto the people. All right. And then verse 3 says, and shall say unto them, hear, O Israel, you approach this day unto battle against your enemies. Let not your hearts faint, fear not, and do not tremble, neither be ye terrified because of them, for the Lord your power is he that goeth with you to fight against your enemies to save you. All right. So once you come into this ministry, you're basically preparing to tear down the strongholds of Esau's dark kingdom, of the kingdom of this world, right? The kingdom of darkness. All right. And the Lord has said that it's going to be a war with how you call it. Terrible consequences. Just to keep that simple, terrible consequences. But your faith should not be shaken. It should remain strong. All right, because you're basically speaking up against the kingdom of the dragon. All right, the kingdom of the serpent, that red serpent. Yeah, so you know how it is. The kingdom of the beast. Yeah, so basically it's war. Before the war, it gets really, really physical. It's basically an exchange of words, and that's exactly what it is. This preaching of gospel. So exchange of words between the men of the Lord and the men of Babylon. All right. So that's something to always consider. You know. And then when all hell breaks loose, then we will know exactly who the Lord is dealing with. Okay. And then it says in verse 5, and the officers shall speak unto the people, saying, what man is there that had built an house and had not dedicated it? Let him go and return to his house, lest he die in the battle, and another man dedicate it. In other words, those that have some handicap, some other irrelevant concerns. They might as well live. So the Lord is basically thinning out the herd. The Lord is purging out men that are not really, really fit, for the calling, all right? And then it says, and what man is he that had planted a vineyard and had not eaten of it? Let him also go and return unto his house, lest he die in the battle and another man eat of it. So those that have all these concerns about things they have in the world, they might as well, be put out. In other words, the Lord is just cutting them out. And then it says what? And what man is there that had betrothed a wife and had not taken her? Let him go and return unto his house, lest he die in battle and another man takes her. So that's the whole idea. The Lord has a way of eliminating people from the ranks. All right? So you just got to pray that the Lord have mercy upon you. The Lord have mercy upon us, man. Because the victory that the Lord wants us to have requires dedication, requires focus, requires, determination to press forward without contemplating about the cause, signed up for. Okay? So that's one thing you should always consider. Why people doubt it. You don't have time to be thinking about your property while you're on the battlefield. That's what the Lord Yahushua was trying to make clear when you read Luke chapter 9 and Luke chapter 14 concerning the ministry. Yeah, once you call for the supper, just go. Once you call for the ministry, just go. That's what Lord Hamashiach Yahushua is basically encouraging brothers to be about. Okay, you don't have room to be giving excuses. Exactly when the victory is at hand. And then you look at Proverbs chapter 8, and then look at verse 4. What does it say? It says, "Unto you, O men, I call, and my voice is to the sons of men." Proverbs chapter 8, verse 4. Unto you, O men, I call, and my voice is to the sons of men. Yeah, and that's the reason, the Lord is calling his servants, to prepare, for the battle and let go of mortal thoughts, okay? Because it's no longer beneficial, to the ministry, thinking about belongings of this world, okay? So, Sirach chapter 5 and 7, what does it say? It says, "Make no tarrying to turn to the Lord, and put not off from day to day. For suddenly shall the wrath of the Lord come forth, and in thy security thou shalt be destroyed and perish in the day of vengeance." So when the war is going on, folks are trying to be comfortable, shoot, that's it. They've lost that edge. The Lord wants brothers to have that edge at all times, man. That edge when it comes to being circumspect. Yeah, the Lord wants that edge to always be about us at all time. Being circumspect. Just like the Lord Hamashiach was telling his top disciples when he went up to pray, that they should stay alert and keep watch. All right? So that's just one of those things that the Lord has to make us realize. It is better to have an edge and try to be comfortable in this jungle of confusion. All right, because Jake just wants to have his so-called 9 to 5, his vacation and his pension, and think life is all good. No, it's not. It's a dangerous time, to be in. So when war comes around, man, when there's a battle between the spirit and the flesh, certain things have to be cut off. And that's what the Lord Hamashiach Yahushua is making known to his servants, the prophets. All right? And that's the reason why he he spoke in those parables, man. Folks talking about you just got a wife, just got a house, just got a field, and all that stuff. Even though it's lawful to have those things, but at some time, you have to make it less important and just go with faith. That's why faith is so important in this ministry. Folks worrying about what they can feel, what they can touch, what they can hold on to. Yeah, so when that victory comes, and you can have as much as you want. You can have all the wives, all the land, all the houses, and all the oxes. All right. So you don't sacrifice the big thing for the little things. That's what the Lord Yahushua is talking about in this prophecy, in this parable also. Okay, and then 2 Timothy chapter 2. You look at from verse 3 to verse 5. It says, therefore endure hardness as a good soldier of Mashiach Yahushua. In other words, those that were called, qualify as soldiers. But he's looking for a good soldier. Alright, that's one thing about Lord Mashiach Yahushua. Alright. A man can be a soldier, but he has to qualify as a good soldier. Okay. Anyone can put that label on themselves, but are they fit to bring the victory home? As a good soldier. Good soldiers bring the victory home. Okay, they know how to read the battlefield. They know how to make the appropriate decisions right on time without breaking a sweat. All right, that's why Yahushua made it known to endure hardness, to cut out the weakness of the flesh. Verse 4 says, no man that warreth entangleth himself in the affairs of this life, that he may please him who hath chosen him to be a soldier. All right? And that's the reason why we have to accept this challenge that Lord Mashiach Yahushua has set before us. Okay? And verse 5 also says, if a man also strive for masteries, yet is he not crowned except he strive lawfully? Yeah, so for you to move up to qualify as an exceptional soldier, as a good soldier, you have to go along with the program. You have to stick with the plan that the captain of hosts has set before you. Okay, so another precept, just to make this quick. Look at Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 9. Look at verse 14 and 15. It says, for the thoughts of mortal men are miserable, and our devices are but uncertain. Okay, so when you know that the flesh is all about being on a mortal frequency, you know that you can counter that with a spiritual frequency, which is being an immortal, being spiritual. Okay, that's the reason why Yahushua talks about sowing to the spirit. Seek that which is above. Okay, let your treasures be in heaven. That's the whole idea of this ministry. Okay, then verse 15 says, for the corruptible body presseth down upon the soul, pressing down the soul, and the earthly tabernacle weighed down the mind that museth upon many things. So that's a challenge. You have to learn how to apply spiritual pressure to carnal pressure, to hold down your carnal desires, because you need your defenses to be up and in shape. You're building up that spiritual fortress, and you don't want any cracks or leaks. So, hey, you're patching up everything, you're sealing up, and you're repairing the hedges. Okay, so that's what the Lord is, expecting us to be about. Repairing and putting up a proper hedge of, for our minds, so that we do not fall in the time of adversity, the time of battle. Okay, so final precept for the book of Matthew. Let's see, book of Matthew, chapter 20. 26. Look at verse 40. Let's see. Okay, 40 and 41. And this Yahushua, and he cometh unto the disciples and found them asleep, and said unto Peter, what, could ye not watch with me 1 hour? Watch and pray, that ye enter not into temptation. The spirit indeed is willing, but the flesh is weak. And that's the whole point of this lesson, man. You know, you just tie this up with Deuteronomy chapter 20, from 1 to 9. You can see how Yahweh is letting them know that it's a battle that we have to deal with. You know, the flesh is a stumbling block. This world is a world of the flesh, and it's controlled by the princess of Edom, all right, the dragon. So that's the issue you have to face with. You have to face the dragon. Anytime your flesh is giving you issues, you know that it's aligned with the princess of Edom, the comfort and trinkets of this society. You know, the bells and whistles. That's not relevant. That is not important, you know, to this ministry in the long run. Okay, and Lord Yamashaki, our is letting us know that we have to get the victory. You know, there's only one way to get the victory, and that's through Him. You know, by following His command. So that's the point there. Akim Abaratazai, you've been edified and blessed. Yeah, just tie the parables. You know, see where it leads you. You know, whether it's to the words of prophecy and the laws that you could find in the Old Testament. Shalom.